and a warm welcome to our online event, Open Evening, for parents of prospective students and your young people who hopefully will become our students. It's a huge step coming to college, and I hope that this evening will give you a little glimpse and an overview of what's here to help our students, your young people, achieve their goals, because they're not just wanting to come to college to get a qualification. Our college is about fitting people for the world of work and to help them develop in their careers. So as the principal, I just want to give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing this evening, and then my colleagues will join me to take you through various aspects of what you can expect if you come to learn at Wirral Met. So the format, we are recording this, but you can relax. We can't see anybody who's participating. So those who are here, we will have that recording so that you can go back and have a look at that if there's anything you missed, or we do encourage people to get in touch with us. We're here to help answer any questions that you have. So the format will be that I'll give you this overview, then my colleague Christine will talk about the courses and how that works, and also another important part of life at Wirral Met College is the support that our students get to help them achieve. Then Christine will pass on to Philippa, who will talk about the really important advice and guidance and the careers education and advice that we really embed into what happens for students at Wirral Met College. Then my colleague Phil and Steve will also deal with any questions. And on that point, if you have any questions, if you want to pop them into the chat box, we will try to cover as many as we can this evening. And if we can't cover them all this evening, we will come back with some questions and answers. And also, we have a couple of questions for you at a point in this event, because we want to make sure that what we're doing is useful if there's anything we can improve, but also we want to make sure that you understand that although this is online, and I'll come on to all things COVID shortly, we are gradually releasing lockdown, and there's no substitute really for coming into the college, having a look at what we do, meeting us in person, and we do want to make sure that that's available before any of our students join us. So that's the kind of format of the evening. A little bit about Wirral Met. Well, we're a large college. Don't know whether you're aware of this, but the college actually formed in 1865. So we're very, very much part of the history and heritage of Wirral Met and of the Wirral Borough. And we teach every level, from continuing from school through to university programs and professional studies. We work with hundreds and hundreds of employers, and it's the employers and the links we have with employers that help us really shape the courses that we have, because we call it a vocational curriculum. And what that means is that what our students study is the means of being able to develop the skills and the knowledge in order to move into careers of their choice. We're an Ofsted good college, so a grade 2 college good overall, but we actually are an outstanding college in terms of the support we provide for our students with high needs. We have many, many students with learning difficulties, disabilities, and who need support, may well be getting support at the moment from school. That continues at the college, and that is a really important part of the service and the offer that we make to our students. We also have lots of national awards that we deliver high quality advice and guidance, for example, that's independent. We also are a provider of world skills and recognised for that. And in addition to that, what's really important to us is that our values are about helping young people really aspire and move through to their destination, which isn't just about a qualification. The longer destination is into the jobs and careers of their choice. Now, I mentioned at the start COVID, I'm actually talking to you from Conway Park at the moment. The college has been open throughout all of the lockdowns. We've been supporting young people who had to continue with their education, vulnerable young people, but we've also been delivering online and remote learning and blended learning. What's important is that you can be assured that we follow government guidelines to ensure that all of our campuses are COVID safe. We actively follow the usual rules about hands, face, space, fresh air, and so on. And we also actively engage our students in understanding the importance of maintaining that safety going forward, not just when they're in college, but also to keep themselves safe when they're not in college as well. So that's a little overview, and I'm going to hand over now to Christine, who's going to take you into much more detail about the courses and the support that's available. Lovely, and thanks again to see you this evening. I do know as well that it's been really, really tough for parents who have been supporting with homeschooling. You know, as well as being a college, we are ourselves parents and grandparents who have been going through similar challenges to yourself. And I just want to, my final word with you is to reassure you, we do understand that, and we are here, irrespective of the grades that your young people will get. There will be a place at the college that we can work with them to make sure that they're not disadvantaged as a result of the impact, potentially the impact that COVID has had on their studies at school. So I just want to reassure you there. So I'm going to see if Christine, are you available now? Are you there, Chris? Can I hand over to you? Okay, well, thanks again. I'll hand you over to Chris.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
So I would also like to offer you all a very warm welcome and thank you for taking the time to attend our information event. It's wonderful to see so many joining us this evening. Next slide, please. College is actively taking applications for courses starting in September 2021, and many of you attending this evening will be responsible for young people who have applied already. We know that you'll have questions, particularly around how courses will be delivered. As Sue said, we acknowledge how tough homeschooling has been for parents as well as young people, and hopefully some of those questions will be answered as we move through this presentation. As you can see on the screen, college will guarantee a place on a study programme, which is pitched at an appropriate starting point for each individual student. A starting point on a career pathway that will lead to further education, which could be progression through the various levels. It could be to a traineeship programme, an apprenticeship, higher education, and ultimately employment. Next slide, please. We sometimes get asked, what is a study programme and how does this support the career aspirations of students? Young people will say, I want to be an electrician, I want to be a nurse, I want to be an engineer. And these are all fantastic future goals to aspire to. However, to achieve this and to ensure our students are fully equipped with the knowledge, skills, attitudes and behaviours that employers expect to work within their industry, it's more than about the vocational part. A study programme develops maths and English within the context of students' career choice and gives confidence to the students and competence to apply for those further and higher level education and employment opportunities that arise. Tutors also support personal development through milestone targets set through an individual learning plan, or an ILP, as you might hear it, and also through the choices and decisions that young people make throughout their learning journey with us. Support to develop skills to self-motivate, perseverance skills, taking on board feedback to improve, and negotiation skills. To develop employability skills, not only around the skills and knowledge required to do the job, but also around appropriate behaviours and attitudes, which employers have told us is a key factor when recruiting to vacancies within their business. So developing the skills of teamwork, of confidence, resilience, communication, time management, problem solving, developing skills of being able to work under pressure. These are the skills that tutors will support development of as part of the overall study programme. And this is what will give our young people an edge when applying for future opportunities as they arise. Next slide, please. College has links with many employers who actively support young people because they are actively looking for employees that they can nurture and develop with the skills they require for the industry. Employers will regularly visit the college and they'll have a look at what skills are being developed. They'll judge competitions and they will actively talent spot. They'll deliver masterclasses and they will inform students of the skills required to work within their business. Wirral is currently right in the centre of a huge regeneration project, and the college is actively working with the developers and the contractors to provide invaluable work experience and placement opportunities for students. This experience will develop essential skills for industry that will enable students to actively compete in World Skills UK, competing nationally with other colleges to showcase skills to employers and take advantage of opportunities as a result of this national stage. Being able to say they've completed at World Skills level and having that on a CV is sure to be an advantage when applying for jobs in a competitive market. Employers will inform college of apprenticeship vacancies and traineeship opportunities for young people, and they will actively approach college to signpost talented young people who will add value to their business and offer opportunities. Next slide, please. So work experience is an essential part of any study programme. And as previously mentioned, college has close and active links with employers. Duration of work experience and longer term placements differ between vocational areas and the skills requirements of the industries, and they're planned throughout the year. Students will be informed of this as part of their induction programme within the first few weeks of term. In fact, this year, we held a virtual industry week for our students, and we had employers from every sector delivering masterclasses, inspirational talks, giving virtual tours of businesses, and sharing with our students the expectations in terms of the knowledge, skills, attitudes and behaviours that they, as an employer, would expect from a successful applicant. This type of information is invaluable to a young person who is aspiring to work within a particular sector, and it's what we, in partnership with employers, can and will deliver. For those of you who've not had the opportunity yet to visit campus, I can assure you that as a college, we're proud to have excellent specialist facilities, the best in the area. Our construction courses sit within a dedicated campus. Our hairdressing and beauty salons, kitchens we use in hospitality and catering are all modelled on real working environments. Our science, computing, engineering, arts and media workshops are all designed to replicate real working environments where students can practice and develop their skills. We also have a brand new business and professional studies campus, which we're very excited to start using in September. And this will provide a real working and professional environment to train our business professionals. These settings have been through rigorous risk assessments to ensure they are all COVID safe, adhering to all guidelines and regularly reviewed to ensure the safety of all of our students. Next slide, please. So as a college, we're currently in the process of planning timetables for September delivery. And as you can see on screen, the intention is very much to deliver learning predominantly on site, COVID allowing, of course. We've very much followed government guidance in terms of delivery methods because the safety of our students and staff is of absolute priority. And just as schools have adapted to a mix of complete remote learning and blended models of delivery, college has also followed this for our current students. We have, however, embraced the technology and supported students and parents by providing resources such as laptops, Wi-Fi, resources which will help develop practical skills, as well as support from an outstanding learning support team when students are feeling anxious, unsure, maybe even just needing a confidence boost to motivate them. However, we do know how essential the digital agenda is and how the skills that the students have developed, albeit unintentionally as a result of the pandemic, has really equipped them with a confidence and competence which will really serve them well when applying for future job opportunities. Skills are a key employability benefit, which is why we intend to continue with some aspects of this learning method to give students every opportunity to succeed as they move forward into employment. Tutors will work with each young person within the first couple of weeks of term as part of induction to determine firstly what their future goals and aspirations are, and then set realistic milestone goals and targets to support their learning journey with us. Next slide, please. We're aware that young people and parents may be feeling anxious about the transition to college. After all, it's a huge step. And in some cases, young people have been learning remotely for 2 academic years now, so it's bound to be a little scary for them and you. We want to try and make this transition smoother by easing them in gently, so that by the time they arrive with us in September, there is some familiarity, whether that be the surroundings, a tutor with a familiar face, and hopefully other students who are familiar. At these new student sessions, we want to ensure that if there is any requirement for professional uniform, for example, in our salons, kitchens, hospitals, or safety kits, such as in construction, engineering, or branded items for wearing and placement, etc., that measurements and sizes can be taken with the intention of this being made available as part of induction, which is the first couple of weeks of term. We don't want any further delays as much as we can help it. For 16 to 18-year-olds, college will provide any uniform kit or resource that is essential for learning as part of the study programme. However, for items that require personalisation or particular branding that makes it unique to an individual, for example, we may request a very small refundable deposit, and this is to go some way to covering the cost if for some reason a student does not take up their place in September. As you'll appreciate, if an item is not used by the person it was intended, it can't be redistributed. But as previously stated, any deposit that's paid will be refunded in full within the first couple of weeks of term. You'll receive more information on the new student sessions very soon via email, if we have this, and by post. And we'll be hosting these sessions with small groups on site and adhering to social distancing guidelines at all times. Next slide, please. So GCSE Results Day is earlier this year, on the 12th of August, as you can see on the screen. Students will receive an email reminder a couple of days before on how to enrol on the study programme they've been accepted on. If they don't get the grades that they are expecting, please don't worry. College guarantees a place on a study programme. So just give us a call, contact us through live chat, and we'll advise and guide you and them. College will also contact all students who've been offered a place around GCSE Day. So if there are any worries or any queries, we can support and we'll help. Next slide, please. Support for our students has been graded outstanding in 2 consecutive Ofsted inspections. College aims to remove as many barriers to learning as we can by ensuring students have access to the best support possible, support that is flexible and meets the individual needs and requirements of our students. Next slide, please. So finally from me, a slide to finish on. The reasons to choose Wirral Met, as you can see, excellent specialist facilities, the best in the area, Hopefully, I've demonstrated the great links we have with employers, which is absolutely fundamental, because I think at the end of the day, our young people want to come to college to get a great job. Outstanding support for students, courses from entry level to degree, university level options, and Wirral Skills UK Centre of Excellence. So I'm going to finish off there, and I'm going to see if our Director of Student Services, Philippa, is there. Philippa, are you there?
I am. I'm just starting the video. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Philippa, and I'd just like to reiterate what Sue and Chris have said. It's great that so many of you have made time to attend. As I think there's a couple of messages have gone up already, but please continue to add any questions to the chat box as you think of them. We'll pick them all up at the end. Just a reminder, and I don't think anyone has done this yet, don't include any personal details about yourself or your young person. If you need to do that, we'll ask you to email us direct. We recognise that coming to college will be a completely different setting for most of our new students, and that parents and carers will want to be kept informed about progress, attendance, and any support their children and wards are accessing. And that's quite different when you come to college to when they're at secondary school. So what we've done is set up a system called Pro Portal, and this allows you to see how students are getting on with their studies. So there's a picture of this up on your screen at the moment. Just gives you a little bit of an idea of the kind of things that you can see on there. So it will keep you informed about their progress and attainment, their attendance, any support or comments that their tutors have put on the system, and also the support that staff have put on the system. So you'll be able to keep up to date with that and see how they're doing. The other things that can come through on Pro Portal, we can let you know about any events. So events such as this, celebration events, and also if we need to get in touch with you about any changes and updates. We do ask the parents and guardians of students aged 16 to 18 to provide us with a contact email address and phone numbers for two family members or carers, just so we can keep in touch with you. And obviously as an emergency contact in the unlikely event that we would need that. If you go on to the next slide for us, please. Okay, we also have financial support in place, and both Chris and Sue have mentioned this, and this is to remove potential barriers to learning. It's really easy to access financial support, and prospective students will be sent a link to an online bursary form, and that will also include any eligibility requirements around further education, free meals allowances. Our current students are currently helping to design our new bursary form to make it as easy to use and as simple to use as possible. We do request all students complete that, even if they feel they won't get any support, as they are often surprised. Support is dependent on financial circumstances, but they might receive payments towards travel, meals or equipment. I mean, obviously in the last year, we're aware that people have needed IT more than they have in the past. And we've been in the position that we've been able to support many of our students with the loan of a laptop whilst they've been working remotely. Just be aware that sometimes the payments we make for, say, bus passes or uniforms kits, we might pay those directly to the provider on behalf of the students, just to make sure that everybody's getting the same level of kit, etc. If you'd like to go on to the next slide, thank you. And just a quick mention about careers education. Everything we do in the college is around trying to make sure that your young people move into the career goals that they've aimed for. Our study programmes all contain elements of work experience and placement, and it forms a massive part of our college careers education strategy, and that's embedded into all the vocational courses our students study. But as well as placements, we have very strong links with employers, also with self-employed professionals, the Chamber of Commerce and the universities, who all give their time to come and support our students fulfil their aspirations. And those visits and that support has continued even during lockdown. We also have internally a very well qualified team of student advisors, and their role is to support students with both group and individual careers advice and guidance. And they're available every day at the moment on web chat or by phone but when we're back in normal running on each of our sites. Recent feedback, if we just want to flip over, Anne, please. Recent feedback from some existing students. We very recently, just before Easter, had an external assessor of our information advice and guidance and support. And this is some of the feedback that the students gave to that external assessor. And it makes us all really proud, because we know that gaining employment isn't just about qualifications. It's about improving your confidence, your resilience, your initiative, and about really building that can-do attitude. So those small pieces of feedback from our students are absolutely what we're here for. Our student services team are available on each site, and that's every day. And they'll be able to signpost students to the people who can help them with any issues they face in college, if it's not the guys who are at the desk anyway. Alternatively, you can ring us, you can fill in an online inquiry form, you can go onto the live chat on the website, and it's really easy to use that. You just go onto the website, and down in the bottom right hand corner there's a little speech bubble, and you just type into there to get more details about courses, or you can email us. So we try and make that as easy as possible, and obviously as things get back to normal, hopefully people will be able to come in and speak to an advisor direct as well. We will, in addition to this, have campus open days in June, and those will run from the 22nd of June onwards, along with our new student days. So there'll be more details posted about that on the website and to the local press. Just before we answer some of your questions from the chat, it's really useful to us, as Sue mentioned earlier, if you can select an answer to the question that's just popped up, so that we can improve these events in future. So if you wouldn't mind just clicking on the appropriate answers there, and then once that's moved on, I will hand you over to our Vice Principal Phil Jones, who's going to read out some of the questions that have come up through in the chat or been emailed in prior to the event, and the panel will answer them if we can. If we can't answer them, we'll get back to you. As I said, don't put any contact numbers or email addresses into the chat. If you do want us to get back to you, if you can drop an email to marketing@wmc.ac.uk, which I'm sure somebody will post in the chat, or to WMC inquiries, which I'm just looking to see if that's coming up in the chat. If not, I'll pop it in myself. Then you can email us direct, put any details that you need to in there, and one of the team will pick that up and get that back to you. Okay, Phil. Phil?
Thank you, Philippa. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of questions, which is really good. So the first one that we've got is a parent asked, my daughter has had support with school meals at school, and can the parent's daughter access the same in college? So back to Philippa, I think, with that one.
Okay, sorry Phil, that was support for free school meals?
It was,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, okay. As I mentioned, let me just pop my video on, sorry. As I mentioned before, all of our students will be asked to fill in a bursary form, and that will include questions about household income and whether they'll be entitled to further education free meals. If they've had free school meals at school, they'll almost certainly get free, they will get free school meals with us too.
Fantastic, thank you. I think one for Steve here, actually. My son had support for dyslexia in school. Will he still get the same support in college? Steve?
Oh yeah, that's a question for me. Thanks very much. And good evening, folks. Yeah, so with regard to support, the quick answer is yes, absolutely. What we would do there is any student who's got any additional support needs, we have a very large additional learning support department, over 70 staff working in that department, supporting students right across the college. And yes, certainly if the students had support before, then what we would be doing, we ask students to let us know on their application, ideally on their application. The earlier people can let us know, the better. And there's a question on the application specifically around, do you have any additional needs? Any student who says yes in answer to that question, once they've had an offer of a place on a course, the learning support team will contact that student and arrange an individual appointment with one of our support specialists, one of our specialist tutors. They'll put together a profile for that student, what we call an additional learning support plan. So we'll meet with that student and establish exactly what their particular needs are, what their profile is, what they're good at, what they struggle with, and what kind of support is going to work for them, really, because obviously everyone's different. We'll put that together on a support plan that's shared then with everybody who works with that student, or any teaching staff and any support staff who might be working with that student. And if we find out about that in advance of the student coming to us, which is obviously ideal, if the student lets us know on their application, then we'll have that support in place by the time they start with us in September.
That's fantastic, Steve. Thank you very much. Okay, next question is about sessions in college. So a parent's asking that their son at the present time is only attending 1 day a week. Will this now be 3 to 4 days next year? Probably Sue might answer that one.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Yes, absolutely. Can I just be clear that the only reason the college has had to restrict face-to-face is because of the national issue. So we have followed government advice in the same way as all the other organisations have had to do so. So there's no intention for that to continue any longer than the law and the national guidance lets us to, requires us to do. So the important thing is we know that when young people come to us, they're usually coming to us because they want to develop their practical skills. And the only way you can really get into the practical skills is in the college. So absolutely, provided we all are able to come out of this lockdown and the road to recovery, which is the UK roadmap to recovery, then we can't wait to have everyone back on campus. And you know, that's just the simple answer. There is another related question that went to that, which I'll answer as well, as about the student union. We have worked really hard with our students. Yes, there is a student union, very active, and there's also a student executive team who actually work alongside us and meet regularly with myself and our chair of governors to give us information and feedback and suggestions. So yeah, we can't wait to be fully back with all the students, and so we look forward to that. Hope that reassures you.
Fantastic, thank you, Sue. Got a question from a parent regarding the employer visits, and they've currently got one of their sons is actually already doing a construction course, and whether or not we can look at an apprentice for that student. Chris, maybe?
Yes, thanks, Phil. Yes, so as I've stated before, we have active links with employers, and in usual circumstances, they would be in very regularly, but as we know, with COVID, this has been restricted. I'd probably need a little bit more information on the course that your son is on. So if we could have a little bit more information, if he's on a study programme at the moment and you're looking for an apprenticeship, then that would be something that his tutor could support him with in terms of pointing him in the right direction, or whether if it's to go on to the next level of study programme, again, that should be covered in your son's progression review, which should be taking place very soon. And the conversation there will be on what he would like to do next, and then supporting him to get to that place. So I hope that answers your question.
That's brilliant. And I think the parents involved, if she contacted us directly, we can answer that probably further, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris. Another question, are students meant to apply for course after their GCSE results? And when will they find out if they have a place? Probably Philippa?
No, apply for courses anytime. We usually start getting applications in for, say, for this year, for 2020, September 2021. We'll have been taking applications for courses since October. So apply absolutely at any time. We're interviewing at the moment. I'm making offers at the moment as well. So please encourage them to get their applications in as quickly as possible. But as Chris has said, we will we'll obviously try and get everybody we possibly can on a study programme. But things well, it gives us an idea of how many courses we need to run, that kind of thing. So do please get your applications in now if you haven't already.
I think I'm right in saying as well that if students accept their offers, then they'll get their place. But if students actually don't get their grades, as Chris mentioned earlier, then we are guaranteeing places on the appropriate level for that course. So maybe they're applying for a level 3 course and need 5 GCSEs, and if they're not successful with the 5 GCSEs, that's not a problem. Okay, we can build on those skills. It may be the level below that we support those students on. So we are guaranteeing places for those courses as long as the criteria is met within that. But if the grades aren't, you don't get the GCSE grades that you want, don't worry, contact us and we'll support you with that. That's not a problem. We do that all the time.
And
Okay.
If they do better than they were expecting, then they might go to a higher course as well. So that happens too.
No, thank you. Thanks, Philippa. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. Okay. Next question, I think probably for Chris, actually. Health and social care placements, where would they be, Chris? Would they be in hospitals or care homes?
Yeah. So health and social care placements, again, you know, this pandemic has just set everything off, but we have very close links with our NHS, and they provide placements for us within hospitals, within community care environments, and also social care environments. And we intend for that to resume for our current students. It should have already, but certainly from September, God willing, we're back to normal and we can get students out into placements. It all really depends on the future aspiration of the individual students. And as I said in the presentation, as part of induction, the tutors will have a one-to-one discussion with each of the students to kind of gauge what career pathway they want to go down. So, for example, if it is nursing, you know, what type of nurse would they like to be? A midwife, a paramedic? You know, we have a whole range of career routes throughout health and social care. So the placements will be varied and broad to give them those different types of skills, and that will be set out in induction. I hope that answers it.
Thanks, Chris. Another question, possibly be Philippa and Chris, I think, around kit. So kit for college. We've got a parent asking whether they need to buy kit or whether kit will be supplied.
So I'll start. So as I said in the presentation, if our students are 16 to 18 and they require kit, which is essential for their learning, so for example, they can't learn without it, then we'll provide that. As I said earlier as well, the only kind of exception, well, not really an exception, but if there's anything that's branded or personalised or unique to that person, then obviously we can't redistribute it if someone doesn't take up their place in September. So aside from a small deposit just to secure it and to recoup any cost of that, if a student doesn't take up their place, we will provide anything that is essential for that study programme for learning.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Just on that, with regards to bursary, if there are other things such as travelling to college, meals, or equipment that isn't essential but is useful to have, then we will consider requests through bursary as well.
Thank you very much. We've got a question from a concerned grandparent, actually, around the granddaughter's attending a course in September, which is 2 days a week. Is it possible for her to attend another course 1 or 2 days a week, or is it too late for her to apply? Sue?
Yes, certainly. First of all, I just want to explain about the courses, because it's not like school where they will pick so many GCSEs and they'll each be a different course. Excuse me. The programme that they do with us, which is a study programme, is the equivalent of 5 GCSEs with the English and maths. So in a study programme, they'll do English and maths if they haven't already got the appropriate grade, and they'll improve it even if they have. But the core programme, so if they want to be a chef exec, for example, will be a very full programme. So a study programme is the choice that they make for progressing towards their career. And inside that, it will be a very full programme. So it wouldn't be appropriate to do 2 courses. Part of the days that they study in the classroom, it does not include any opportunity to come to our study programmes, for example, for our placements. Excuse me. We also recognise that some of our students work part-time as well. So it's not like school on Monday to Friday, but it is a very full programme. And there is a requirement for continuous study when they're not in the classroom, in placements, as I've said, and so on. So what you will find is that the choice of programme will be very full and will exercise their development in terms of both the skills they'll develop and the knowledge they'll develop as they work with us. But we have really good skills and resource centres on site. So there's no limit to them being able to come in and do that. Obviously, in a non-COVID world, we've had to restrict time on campus for obvious reasons, but there's no limit to that, and there's no shortage because those areas are actually staffed with people who can help them. So I hope that reassures you that our study programmes are a very full programme. And apart from the timetable sessions, there's lots of other things that can help them to continue to develop on campus. And, you know, hopefully you'll be able to see that when you come along to the college.
Wonderful, thank you, Sue. Another one for Steve, actually. Someone whose child is supported in school by a mentor, would that still be the case in college?
Yeah, certainly. So as well as our additional learning support team that I mentioned earlier, we also have a team of pastoral support mentors who perform a similar function really to mentors in school. So yes, if a student needs mentor support, that's also available. And again, you can get in touch with us in advance to discuss that, or indeed, you know, at any point on the programme.
Fantastic, thanks, Steve. And the one for Philippa, actually, someone's asking for the start date in September.
I knew that was coming my way, so I've just got the college calendar out. So term 1 starts on the 1st of September, it's a Wednesday, but we will be enrolling probably through the summer as well. So if it's in terms of when will your first day in college be, it will be a little bit earlier than that because we'll be doing enrolments, and as Chris mentioned, we'll have new student sessions as well. But we will be flexible around that because we know that a lot of people are desperate to get somewhere on holiday over August as well. But yeah, the first day of term is Wednesday, the 1st of September.
Fantastic, thank you. And somebody else, just having a quick look now, wants to know, can they attend or visit the college before September? Sue?
Yes, as I said before, and that was why we asked the question in the poll we asked you to answer as well. As soon as safe to do so, as we come out of the sort of lockdown gradually, we will be inviting you and our prospective students in. I mean, this is a big decision to make, and we realise that they will want to get a feel for what it's like at the college, to meet people, to have a look around, and to really find out what it's like when they attend. So absolutely, as soon as safe to do so, you'll be the first to hear, you'll be invited in. Please also be aware that this is an open event, and we will have events where we will invite you in. But effectively, every day is an open day at Wirral Met. If you've got a question, our advisors are here every single day, except weekends and bank holidays and the period between Christmas and New Year. Even in, people think we're not here in summer holidays. It's never a busy time. So we have staff here all the time who are here to help you, to answer questions. And sometimes it's just about come and have a look round, how does it feel? So absolutely, and we can't wait to welcome you in so we can show you our facilities.
Thank you, Sue.
So if I can just add to that as well. We are aware that there are some young people coming to us in September who've got some quite complex needs, and coming and visiting the college on a number of occasions is really going to be essential for them in order to be able to to understand what the college looks like and feels like, perhaps because of their autism and so on. And so in exceptional circumstances, we are making individual arrangements for individual students to come in and have their own one-to-one visits with our support team. So if that situation applies to yourself, then again, if you contact our additional learning support department, you can email them directly. I think it's in the chat already, but it's als@wmc.ac.uk. That's ALS for additional learning support at wmc.ac.uk. Then we can make those individual arrangements.
Fantastic, thanks, Steve. Another one for Chris. When do you find out how many days a week the course will be?
So we'll find out how many days the course is once the timetables come out. So as I said, we're just doing the timetabling at the moment. We're planning for full attendance back into the college sites. So anything pre-COVID will be the norm, COVID allowing. So it will be as soon as enrolment has happened and timetables are issued.
Thank you very much. And also, I mean, just to go, what Sue mentioned before around the, we've got virtual tours on the website as well. So if you want to see the workshops or the environment that your son or daughter are going to be working in, then you can go and see them as well. But obviously, it's not the same thing as coming into college. And as soon as that's an option, then definitely we'll do that for you. Okay, a question that I'll probably answer here. And what's behaviour like in college? Well, wow. I mean, not too long ago, we were Ofsteded, and the first things the inspector said that the respect that students showed to them as well as the visitors within college, and obviously say that consistently all the time. We do take a hard line when it comes down to behaviour, because at the end of the day, we're training your son, daughter, granddaughter, whoever it is that you or looked after child, whatever it is. We're training those students to become employable. And so we don't accept the behaviour that wouldn't be accepted in the workplace. So we do come our hard line with that. But our students have been absolutely amazing. I mean, wearing masks and everything else, the compliance has been unbelievable. We expected a few challenges, we've hardly had any. Everyone's complied, and that's been a really positive thing for us. So hopefully when you do come in, you'll be able to see that, but the behaviour is exceptional. And because I'm not just saying that at all, I've worked in a few colleges previously where behaviour is nothing like it is at Wirral Met. So please be assured that the training you provided will be in a safe working environment for your son or daughter, and the expectations at Wirral Met are very, very high. Okay.
Phil, can I just add in, there's a note there about progressing, if someone feels they're able to progress faster. So they might, get through things, work really hard. Absolutely. Part of what we do is to stretch, what we call stretch and challenge students. So all the time we'll have students that can learn a bit faster than the group. We'll have some students that need a bit more time. So what we try to do, although they'll be on a programme with a group of people, it will not prevent them progressing at a faster pace if they're capable of doing that. And in fact, we've got some examples where students have moved through to higher education level in a very, very short time. So we're about making sure we encourage students to work hard and to develop as fast as is appropriate to them. But as I say, that's important also that they understand and that they're supported. And it's in that context as well. So yes, we actively encourage that.
Fantastic, thanks, Sue. Another one for Philippa, a couple actually for Philippa here. Keeping you busy tonight, Philippa. About train passes. So would
we don't usually. We don't usually issue train passes, mainly because it does start to get very, very expensive. And obviously we're trying to make the money we're given for bursary go as far as we can do. What we will do, if the only way of somebody getting in is by train, we'll look at it on a case-by-case basis, but usually we issue an Arriva bus pass. What we're actually doing at the moment is making payments for travel into bank accounts. But from next year, we'll probably go back to the bus pass, to the pass method. However, as I say, we will look at individual case by case cases, and it very much depends on where people live. We'll look at if there are any bus routes that they're not familiar with. But obviously, we know it needs to be reasonable. We don't expect somebody to travel for 2.5 hours on a bus when they can get here in half an hour on the train.
Brilliant. And a second one, do you invite students in for enrolment before they get their GCSE results?
I'll be honest with you, we're just looking at that at the moment. Obviously, the way that we enrol people has had to change an awful lot over the last 18 months. The process that we would have had in the 2019 intake, we had to completely change for this year because you know we couldn't invite people in because of COVID. We are likely to be looking at an online system with some flexibility around that for young people who might struggle to complete the online process. But we are looking at getting links for enrolments sent out around GCSE day. Now, it may be, I am considering whether we can do it even before students get the GCSEs and do some moving around, but it will be either by the 12th of August or before that. Now, we do also recognise, I know I said before that people have been applying since October, they have, but we will also have people applying after GCSE day because they may not get the grades they thought they were going to get, and may decide they want to look at another option. Obviously, courses will be filling up then, but we will certainly still be taking applications, and it's very, very rare that we can't find something for somebody on the path that they want to go on to. So please, at no point think, no, we won't be taking applications. Keep them coming in, but obviously the earlier the better, so we can make sure that people are invited to these kind of events, that young people get to come in and see the college at the earliest possible opportunity.
Brilliant, thank you. One I can probably answer, roughly how many students will be on each course? That's very dependent on the programme, to be fair. If it's classroom based, then that will go up. Generally around the average for where it's classroom based is around 18. If it's a practical situation, it's 14 to 15, but that could be lower depending on the requirements. So the classes aren't packed. We don't pack them all in. We do it on the basis of the needs of that program. So if it's a practical basis, then we can't obviously pack lots and lots of people into workshops. So they're split up. So it's generally around, I think the class average at the moment for the college is around 15 students per class. One for Chris.
Again, I'd just also add to that, Phil, that where we've got classes of students with more complex needs, then some of those classes are a lot smaller than that. Yeah. So in some of our departments, we've got classes of around 8 for students with more complex learning difficulties.
Yeah, and we also provide small classes for catch-up as well. So any students that struggled in school and didn't get the grades that they wanted, then we have catch-up sessions as well, and they've proved really popular this year, where students in very small groups get a more profiled support for their sessions, and that includes GCSE Maths and English. I think someone's mentioned there around, can their son or daughter resit their GCSE? At the moment, I mean, if they've got the grade 4, then that's a pass, to be fair, and that would then enable that student to move on. That's recognised in university and also on the apprenticeships. But again, if they wanted to resit and have a look at getting a higher grade, then when they come, they need to come and talk to us, and we'll have a chat to them and see how we can support that. Especially if they think that they haven't got the grade that they wanted or thought they could obtain within that. Okay. Just a couple more. Okay, Chris, dress code, is there a certain dress code for health and social care?
So for health and social care, it depends on which course it is. We have a few different pathways in health and social care. So we have pathway to nursing qualification. We also have pure health and social care, which is a little bit broader. So it differs between the two. So for the Pathway to Nursing programme, it's a tabard with which is personalised, and the colours for the hospital that they'll be placed in. For health and social care, if my memory serves me right, it's a like a sweatshirt which is branded on the top. So what we'll probably find in some of the areas is that if placement is a mandatory requirement, for example, that we will try to kind of standardise the uniform, if you like, for want of a better word, so that they look smart when going to placement. But all of the placement requirements, all of the uniform requirements, that will all be made clear at the New Students Day. So please don't worry. Everything will be made clear at those days, and any measurements or any questions will be answered there. So it's going to be very individual for each vocational area.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few questions around kits, so I think it will be more around individual courses,
Yeah,
won't it? And we'll explain that a bit clearer then. Okay.
Yeah.
Phil, can I just say, because there's a lot of questions around this, that in summary, you will be guaranteed, if you're 16 to 18 and you want to come to this college, we will guarantee you a place appropriate to the level that is right for you. You will anticipate certain grades, and you will be keen, as we will be keen, to know what those grades are. But if you are offered a place or a conditional place, we need to know if you want to take that up. And if you get better grades, we may be able to revisit that with you at a different level that's higher. Or if your grades aren't what you expected, it doesn't mean you won't have a place at the college. It just means we may need to look at a slightly lower starting point. But the important thing is that you know that we've got a team, that Philippa's team here, who can provide you with advice and guidance. So if you can only do one study program because you know it's about a career, but if you're not sure and there's two and you've had an offer, potential offer for a place on two, don't struggle with the question yourself. Come and get some advice from our advisors who will help you work it through from a career point of view, so that we can make sure that the choice you're making is the absolute right choice for you. It doesn't cost anything other than your time, and that's what we're here for. So it's big decisions, and we know that, but the important thing is Wirral Met's here to help you to get on the right path at the right level. And if I've seen a few notes to say, well, I've had a verbal okay, so you've obviously spoken to someone. You do need to get your applications in. You can do it online. If there's an issue with that, give us a ring and we can help you. But the important thing is we're here to help you, and whatever the outcome of your qualifications at school, provided you're prepared to work hard, we've got a place for you here. And I think that's the message I want to leave you with, really.
Thanks, Sue. And one final one. We've got a parent whose son's applied for 2 courses and wants to know that if accepted on both, at which point they'll need to choose one or the other. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, as Sue said, you know, one study programme is enough, because it's a very, very rich and full programme. But I guess if you've been accepted on both, then you'll have to make a decision as to which career pathway is right for you. And again, as Sue said, that's what our fantastic advice and guidance team is for. And even on our new student days, if you come along and talk to the tutors, they might be able to give you some more information that will help you make your decision.
If I can just jump in there, we do have lots of people who apply for more than one course, and that's absolutely fine, because we know at this stage people are still a little bit up in the air. When it comes to enrolment, you'll get sent a link to it, probably get sent a link to enrol on both. You need to pick at that point which one it is that you're going for. If once you start first week in, you change your mind, if there's still spaces on the other course, we'll do our best to move you over in the first couple of weeks. But for enrolment, if you can make a decision one way or the other, but by all means, come in and have a chat with us. Use the web chat, phone us, spend as long as you need to talking to an advisor about what way you or your young person wants to be at the end of the time with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. We've actually now bang on time for that completed. Now, I'm really sorry if we haven't answered your questions verbally at the moment, but we will definitely get back to you with those during the next couple of days. So if you've asked a question and we haven't answered it, we will put that on the, or we will get back to you with the answers to your questions. As I said earlier, this has been recorded as well, so we'll be sending them out to all the attendees with the questions and answers as well. We hope you found this absolutely really enjoyable. I know I have. And thanks for the lots and lots of people who've given up their time this evening to attend this event, and hopefully prospective students to come into the college. We think it's a fantastic place. We hope you do when your son or daughter starts with us. So thank you very much.